Hi everyone. We all know, at least if you've seen him more than once, that Alex Jones is a bit of a nutcase. This is not a secret. Personally, I think he's gone too far in the past whenever he mentions that a school shooting was a false flag, and he's rightly got vilified for that. Other than those occasions, though, I've actually always found him to be quite entertaining, especially when he talks about frogs being gay and lizard people and vampires coming through the fifth dimension to suck the life out of our children and that sort of thing. But he's a bit of a crazy person, and even his friends say he's crazy. Joe Rogan, who I've got immense respect for and listen to his podcast on a regular basis, is a big friend of Alex Jones. They've known each other for decades, and he says quite openly Alex Jones is crazy. However, today Alex Jones has gone too far again, and possibly further than he's ever gone before. And there are going to be massive repercussions for this. I hope there are anyway. Take a look at this. You're going to be angry.
Against an exact formula, an exact program of control. And they're not just going after the second, they're trying to ban everybody that's defending the second on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. They're calling for us to be banned and saying that grown adults cannot respond to other grown adults, high school seniors, up there on the stage telling us it's our fault and that old people are bad and that guns are bad and that they're the future and they're going to take all of our rights and take our children's rights, and then we can't even criticize these little PR stuntmen and women. So it's on, folks. They're coming for all your rights globally. This is it, and people better get aggressive and they better get active or you're going to lose it all. Because Trump getting elected just woke the globalists up to accelerate their plan and their whole timetable. So here's Darren McBreen's piece with the truly frightening historical iconography that you cannot deny in these parallels of this youth march. Authoritarianism is always about youth marches. Here we go.
Meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dass ich gearbeitet habe, Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit, du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Hör mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingesetzt bin.
Also show the sign saying ban the guns. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying David Hogg's a Nazi. I'm not saying any of them are. I'm saying the ideology of the left that's identity-based is how the Nazis were based. And I'm saying their move to only allow select groups to have weapons is a Nazi-based system or an authoritarian-based system. And big youth marches and emotion and manipulating the youth was the staple of the communist, the fascist, the Nazis, you name it, across the political spectrum. And that's where you see these dangerous revolutions coming from, like the one we see that's brought Venezuela and other areas to its collective knees, is these exact same type of dangerous youth movements. And if you study the college movements and high school movements today in the United States, they're not Nazi-based. They are Mao Youth Brigade Red Guard-based. Look them up in any town, any city that has a college or a large high school base. You will have the chapters in your area. We know them as Antifa, but when they take the mask off, they're communist. And that's who they are, and they're George Soros funded with full-page ads in the New York Times saying, we're going to overthrow Trump, overthrow capitalism, overthrow America, and take the guns. That's their plan. We'll be back with critical intel. Please spread the live links and tell folks about the local station or TV station you're watching or listening to us on. It's critical.
Okay, he's gone too far. I hope he faces serious repercussions for this. Now, there's a couple of things I want to point out here. First of all, he specifically said there he's not saying that these kids who watch their friends die in a hail of bullets from an assault rifle that, in my opinion, shouldn't be in the hands of any civilian in America unless they've faced stringent background checks. He's not saying that these children are Nazis, but he is saying that they're part of a movement that is very similar to a Nazi movement. So he's sort of making a distinction without a difference there, in my opinion, but I just want to point that out. However, portraying them in that light with a video of the Hitler Youth and Hitler's speeches being played in the background, to say that's in extremely poor taste would be an understatement. However, if he had just left it at that, I would be saying, okay, it's disgusting, it's terrible, but I defend his right to say it. And he specifically said there, they're coming after our free speech, and he's right, they are. They're demonetizing YouTube channels all over the place who are independent news voices. And in my case, they haven't even monetized my channel yet, even though it's been about 6 weeks, and they're saying it probably will be another 4. And that's if they do monetize it, they might say, oh, no, we're not going to do it. You're unsuitable for advertisement. We don't know. But he's got a point there. They are coming after our free speech. Now, the problem with that is he's just basically given these people ammunition for them to come after the free speech if you're going to say things like that. And if he would have just left it at that, I would defend him. I would say, okay, it's bad taste and he shouldn't be saying it, but. However, there were 2 things he said. It's 1 sentence, 2 things, 2 points he said in that video that in my case, I think he's inciting violence. And he specifically said, we need to get aggressive and we need to get active. You put a video up saying that it's a Nazi movement and we need to get aggressive and we need to get active. Oh dear, that is dangerously close to incitement of hate, incitement of violence. And hate speech is not free speech. I'm not sure whether this is 100% the case, but I'm pretty sure that those who are further left than me are going to be making that case, and he's not doing himself or me or people like me who are having their free speech infringed upon and their voices silenced. He's not doing us any favours or people on the right either, like Ben Shapiro. He's saying that the movement, the ideology is Nazi-based. Okay, right, let's look at that. Let's evaluate that. The ideology is Nazi-based to only let a certain group of people have guns. Really? What about Australia? They came and took their guns away in Australia and there hasn't been a school shooting since. Is that Nazi-based, Alex Jones? But Canada, they have stringent background checks. You can still get a gun in Canada, you just have stringent background checks. Is that Nazi-based? But the UK, where I live, I couldn't get a handgun if I tried. To get a shotgun, I would pretty much need to be a farmer. To get a bow and arrow, I would probably need to register at a sports club and then have serious background checks. That's not Nazi-based either, you know? So he's just wrong there. He's just wrong, and it's not the first time he's wrong. He's wrong all the time. It's Alex Jones. He's a fucking fruitcake. But when you start talking about getting aggressive and getting active and saying that these people are coming to overthrow America and overthrow capitalism and take the guns, they're not saying take the guns, you fucking imbecile. Oh, God. They're not saying take the guns. They're saying we need stringent background checks, which I'll put a graph up here. I'm pretty sure it says over 90% of people say we need better background checks in America. Even, I think I saw something recently that said 75% of NRA members support it. And these kids have watched their friends die in a hail of bullets from an AR-15, from a crazy kid with an AR-15, and what, they're meant to just sit down and say fuck all? I would defend Alex Jones until the cows come home if he wasn't comparing kids to Nazis and borderline inciting violence. But he is, and as far as I'm concerned now, wow, you're going to get no support from people on the left. People on the left, we would support his right to say whatever he wants if he wasn't inciting violence or going so far as to say these children who just want to say enough's enough, I've seen my friends killed. What would Alex Jones be saying if one of his kids had seen their friends die? If one of his kids went to Parkland and saw their friends die in a hail of bullets, would he be still saying it's a false flag and they're Nazis then for wanting change to happen? I hope he gets what he deserves from this. I hope he gets the pull plugged on him. How the fuck this guy gets... I heard he gets something like, at peak times, he gets something like 70 million views a week. That is over 10 times more than CNN. Now, don't get me wrong. I am no fan of CNN. And whatever viewership they get is still too much in my opinion. But 70 million people listen to him? Boy, Alex Jones, you've gone too far. And you're going to get no support from the left. Because you've gone too far with this. Too far. Please subscribe and please hit the bell. Because I heard through Mike Figueroa of the Humanist Report that YouTube have admitted now that they're not delivering videos to our subscribers. They're just not doing it. They've admitted it. The only way you get a video and that you will be guaranteed to see any videos that we drop, independent media drop in future, is if you actually click the bell. It's the only way you're going to get to see any future videos. And there certainly won't be videos that I do that is inciting violence and comparing children who have seen their friends die in a hail of bullets to Nazis.